All right. Aloha, welcome. I am Deb Asara Hart.
Aloha mai. I am PrimRose Lehualani Kekahuna Harris.
Beautiful. And I just want to welcome you to this really amazing space. We were just talking about the fact that this portal that we opened is such a beautiful high frequency right now. So hopefully you can all feel that and participate in it.
Yes. Hmm. And before we start, I do want to make sure that I say that I am looking at the camera, but my setup is my screen is on this side, so you may see me here staring into y'all, or you may see me over here acknowledging Deb, for she is on the left of me. And I just wanted to make sure to say that
Thank you.
this time around.
Thank
Mahalo.
you.
You're welcome.
So, welcome to, I think it's episode 5. It's either 5 or 6 of deep dive into essential oils with Primrose and Deb. It, do you know the number?
No, but I
No.
know coming back that this is our second one, and we
Yeah.
had, I believe, yeah, 2 to 3 of our
Yeah, we had a
other.
couple year break.
Yeah, yeah. But we're
The
back.
expansion has been real, people, right?
Been real.
Um, and today we're going to talk about worthiness. And
Mhm.
I have not told Primrose this because I told her I want to wait until we're on camera and I'm going to announce this. But over the weekend, I had just finished doing a reading for someone, and I had my own personal deck that I talked about last week. It is all alchemy. I had that out, and I asked Spirit, "What do you want me to know about?" I was trying to think of how I asked this. What do you want me to know about the collective right now? And I got the inner sun. You are worthy because you are. And I said, "Oh my God, that's exactly what we were going to work on today is worthiness." So I thought that was pretty amazing. And then I think I've got a couple more cards, but I think maybe I'll just weave them in as it's appropriate. But I just thought that was awesome because that was the next energy we really wanted to work on, and Spirit agreed.
Spirit
Definitely need
agrees.
to talk about worthiness.
Yes,
And then, well, you know what? I'll add it later. Never mind.
yes.
I
Well,
had
that's
something come
great
up, and I'm like,
too.
nope, I'll wait. Huh?
That's great too, because that's how we like to flow when the surprises come in from the universe, from our guides, from our kupuna. It's like, okay, yep, confirmation on confirmation. So
Yes.
that's confirmation right out the gate for us. And
Yes.
I just want to cover her on that one because I had cards too. Is consciousness, and the frequency of consciousness supports our ability to focus our attention on all the multi-dimensional aspects that show up so we can include them in our reality. And that for me is what makes a lot of things worthy, and us to become our worthy, like our worthiness, and stand in who we are and our power. When we're conscious of who we are, we're conscious of what is out there in the universe as well, and what the universe has to offer us, and it's
Yes.
there at the tip of our fingers. We just have to be open and expand. And so that's cool that
Wow.
we did this and we didn't know. We both said this, kind of like the last one, where it's like, oh, here it is, where we're both just in alignment in these ways. So
Yeah,
I'm
we
really
just show
glad.
up. The only thing we knew is we were going to talk about worthiness. We don't plan anything else.
Yeah.
And I do have more. I love that you just shared that card because I asked Spirit for cards, other than just here are the typical cards we might, or oils we might use with to help us to feel more worthy and loved. But I was shocked at what Spirit gave me. And I feel
Mm.
like it's going to really expand on what you just shared. So I love that. That all goes together, of course.
Of course, everything goes together. And I actually got a bunch of bunch of cards, oil cards that came out to play, and it's kind
Oh,
of cool
wow.
because I already was pulling certain oils just because of my whole journey over this last few weeks. And it has definitely come out to play in the cards that unfolded over here as well. So it's
Those are
kind of,
all oils for
these are all oil cards.
worthiness.
Worthiness and
Oh,
moving through other areas that may stop you from standing in your power to
got it.
be worthy and feel worthy. So
Got it.
bringing all types of things like renewal,
Okay.
balance, right? Clearing out
What I have.
the old generational patterns that may also be blocking because of that binding, right, that has happened. That may have,
Programs.
yep, the programs that may have just kind of quiet down
Yeah.
your own self or self identity for sure.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, you wanna dive in?
Yeah, let's dive in. How about you take
Okay.
it away first? You can go ahead and pop out an oil that you're
Okay.
wanting to
Okay.
talk
Well, I'll share what spirit gave me, and I made some notes because my higher self had a few things to say.
about.
Because I was like, what on the oils? And I'll save I'm gonna actually I'll start with the most obvious that wasn't really a shock. But the other two were like, what? Rose.
Oh,
So you
yeah.
probably already have that out.
Mhm. Check.
So unconditional love, obviously, divine worth is what the rose oil helps with. But deeper, this is what I was getting, but deeper than that, you do not need to earn love to deserve it. And that's what the rose oil really assists with, is moving beyond that. You are worthy because you are. Period. And it helps somebody really move beyond performance. Like I said, I made notes. Proving yourself, perfection, overgiving, all of these things that we feel like we have to do this to be worthy.
Mhm.
The emotional labor, survival patterns. We need to do this to be worthy, but it dissolves that to really install, not in-store, restore. I was like, that
Mhm.
doesn't sound right. To restore our inherent worth. Um, so yeah, I think Rose is obvious, but I felt like my higher self was kind of helping to take it to a deeper level.
Mm.
Um, and then oregano.
Yep.
Oregano, purification and sovereignty. So oregano basically is like, what have you allowed into your field that is not yours?
Mm.
Because that energy starts to mess with us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Worthiness issues frequently come from programming, like we talked about programming, criticism, shame, a lot of these things that happened with a lot of us as we were growing up,
Mm-hmm.
emotional enmeshment. Oh
Mm.
my God. I
Mm.
think this is a gigantic issue across our planet and some cultures more than others. But we
Mhm.
have this responsibility feeling because our emotions are so enmeshed with each other, and it's a big issue. I think it's a really big issue, but it took me, I'm really honestly, decades to see this. Energetic intrusion, toxic relational dynamics.
Mhm.
Um, Oregano oil clears contamination emotionally and energetically. And the oil really takes you into your field deserves protection.
Yeah.
Um, so it's a sacred self-protection, really, the oregano oil.
Mm-hmm.
And that matters because what you allow in your field matters because it's going to mix with your energies and it's going to affect you. So that's a
Yeah.
big one. Okay, and then the last one is citronella.
Oh, love.
Discernment and environmental clearing. And I have it on a little thing here because I
Oh,
am sitting in a bunch of mosquitoes.
yes. Very country life of you.
Yes, exactly. I just leave the door open and say, I'd rather you not bite me, but everybody's welcome. So, yeah, this one really surprised me. It is about repelling, obviously. Not everything deserves access to your space. So it goes along with oregano. Again, that's sovereignty. Not everything has access to your field or should not have access to your field.
That parts. That parts.
So really the energy of worthiness, and I wanted to point this out because I think this is important. Discernment. That's an
Mm-hmm.
energy of worthiness. Energetic filtration. What am I going to allow in my field? What am I going to allow in my body? It's
Mm-hmm.
important. Environmental awareness,
Mm-hmm.
boundary intelligence, kind of all ties together. People often associate worthiness only with loving yourself, but it also means protecting your peace, honoring your nervous system. Oh my gosh, how we talked about that quite a bit last
Mm-hmm.
week.
Yeah.
Saying no. It's that sacred no where you only say yes when it's a hell yes.
Yeah. Yep.
And recognizing what drains you. All of that is part of worthiness because when you just arbitrarily always say yes because you feel like you need to, or as we said earlier, like you, uh, where did I say that? I have little notes here. You feel like you need to prove yourself. You've got to
Mm-hmm.
earn it. All of that. That's unworthiness because we don't have to. We're worthy because we are.
Yes. I love that because the other card that I had from the Sacred Geometry deck was discernment. Um and
Awesome.
you just hit it right on the
Love that
money of
deck.
what it's all about. And it makes so much sense with the oils that you're sharing because oh, first, I also want to mention, I'm going to mention this every episode, is if you are connected to doTERRA's essential oils, there is an essential emotions app
You don't
as
even have to be connected to doTERRA's oils.
yeah. You don't need to, but I
Yeah.
do know that this oil that this app connects more towards their oils
Yeah, the
and
blends and
yeah, their blends and
yeah.
you know, like it just you can have your normal oils, but then when it gets into the blends, it will make more sense if you do have the doTERRA
Yeah.
blends. But you can go in like the ones that she was just talking about, oregano, rose, citronella. You can use that app as well just to look into that and really see the
Love it.
depth of what it helps you to feel less of, what it helps you to feel more of, and
Yeah.
also what is the compatible oils. And so it's
Yeah.
kind of cool what she was already sharing because it really ties into my oils to where it's like, oh, that makes so much sense. So like oregano is connected to tea tree, it's connected to lemongrass, it's connected to sandalwood, and that's part of my carts that I have over
Oh, I
here
love it. I
and
love
the
it.
oils that came out to play as well. And yeah, so it's such an integration, but also alignment, I want to say. And the way that we integrate, it reminds me of, you know, when we make a tea leaf layer, right? And you build that pilina and you weave everything in together. And when I think about the La'aulapa'au realm and knowing like we always call upon our kupuna, our ancestors, our guides. And today, of course, as always, since we're working with essential oils, we call upon the trees, right? And we call upon just nature and Mother Nature
Elementals.
in general, the elementals to help guide us through this. And I think they're on point here with all
My
that we're
my
having
heart
to.
just fluttered. Yeah.
So I love that because Rose is to be honest, it was this specific doTERRA that really made me embrace rose, the oil, and made me really understand my name, my first name, PrimRose, to a whole different level, and embrace the depth of me in that and what you said about not needing, right? Not needing approval from anybody about who we are and stuff. That was me. Once I smelt the rose oil at a convention, that was it. It was a game changer for me because it was like, wow, like everything within me remembered who I was.
I
And
love that.
when you smell the oils, that's kind of what it does, right? It helps you to open up. It moves certain things within you. It gives you that
Goes
aha moment.
across our neural
Yes, your
pathways.
neural pathways. It starts from your neurotransmitters and then it just keeps on going. And the more that you're able to breathe within, like really let that rhythm within yourself and train your breathing to go to the depth of you, the more it opens up and the more it lets your whole body really open in your chakras, in your body systems, in your chi or ki, however you announce that and say that. And then it lets your aura, it actually goes out to your aura fields and it really can tune your aura as well. And I don't know if you ever experience taking a picture where they do the auras and you get to see like your aura around. But I have done it before and after the fire, completely different when I use the oils to help me program back to who my rhythm is, right? And really standing in my authenticity. So that the rose is one of my favorite oils, and I understand why it's called the queen of oils, right? Like Frank is the
Yeah.
king of oils. Rose is definitely the queen of oils. And then we just go into citronella. Funny enough, I live here in a country lifestyle as well, and we have citronella candles outside of our door because the mosquitoes are real, but it really
They're
helped me.
real.
They're real and they really do come at a timing, I feel, where there is a lot to give, right? So if I can just say based off of who you are always giving a lot or sharing a lot and helping move humanity through so many things. And sometimes, right, things show up in our life to be like, hey, we want some of that too, or we want to be a part of that too, or we want to nibble on some of that energy. And that was something that I learned over here in mines, where it's like, oh, they want all the energy. No, thank you. I'm fine. Stay. You guys can stay. Just don't come for me per se, right? And it's having that clear boundaries of saying
That's been
what can
mine
enter
recently.
in, right? And what cannot. And I that's why I wanted to use you, because you have these clear boundaries on saying, no, thank you, I'm fine. Or
I'm all good. I
yes,
wish you well.
yes, wish you well, sending you love, hoping you're doing your journey, but you can't come in my space. You can't come in my field. You can't attack me and all that. And the layers go on. And that's kind of like what I have been doing. And we made our citronella candles, and I'm making more. And I've been using citronella in my sprays. Funny enough, with oregano, with lemongrass, with basil, with tea tree, which all helps to build worthiness. When we think about it and we strip it down to its origin, because each of them have clear components of helping you clear energy, helping you set firm, sovereign boundaries, helping you be spiritually guided and spiritually protected.
And from a heart space with the
Yes,
basil.
I was just gonna say, and from love, from understanding that
Yeah.
consciousness of understanding
Yeah.
who are you, or who is self, who is others, what do you allow in your space, what are you saying absolutely not to, what are you opening the gates to, what are you closing the gates to, how much are you opening up to, right? And so all of those little things really unfold into my cards as well. So just starting off, I'm going to go with basil. And basil is one that I love using as well. And it's actually, so I use basil and holy basil, or it'll be called
Tulsi.
Tulsi, I want to say,
Yeah, I use that one.
basil. I love using that oil, especially when you're going from different dimensions. I want to say maybe you're in ceremonial spaces, maybe you're in meditation or pulit, or really just letting your higher self come in and connect. That is definitely
Yeah.
oils that I love having on deck to bring me back into space and to let that all integrate in a safe way. And I think when I think about worthiness, I always think about safety at the core, because someone has to feel safe within themselves in order for them to embrace, right, the layers of who they are and move in that heart space.
Great point.
Because if they're not, right, like there can be despair, there can be sadness, there can be worriness and fear and angry and anger, and it's just it's not moving so much from a heart space. It's
Right.
stuck, right? It's stuck energy. And so when I think about basil in general, I think about obviously spaghetti and pizza, but in a different light.
Course.
I always think about how this oil helps you deal with mental draining, spiritual draining, and that comes into what Deb was sharing about citronella, right? And why that
Boundaries.
the boundaries. And that is actually when you want to look at the companion oils for that, it actually so basil and Tulsi basil can be used together. And that is it smells completely different though, I want to
Uh-huh.
say, because Tulsi basil that one is the more light one. I want to say that one doesn't hit you as hard as the basil, just
But
straight
its frequency is really high.
that part, the
Yeah.
frequency. And when you
Yeah.
are doing work of your own self mastery, your own self identity, sometimes it takes you to your past, right? The generational things that we deal with. And then sometimes it keeps you in the present. Sometimes it moves you forward. Sometimes it lets you go to your higher self. Sometimes it wants you to move fast and be able to get things out of your system so you don't repeat the patterns anymore, because when we're stuck we can't move forward. And so when I think about worthiness, I think about basil, I think about Tulsi basil, I think about tea tree, I think about lemongrass, I think about rosemary, and that is actually what comes into these cards as well. So basil can help you go from feeling depleted, exhaustion, and overwhelmed to moving you into renewal, and moving you and instilling you into strength and balance. And worthiness comes with that as well, because you need to be able to feel your own inner strengths. It's not outside, it's within. So when the worthiness, right,
Yes.
just like everything else, it's within us. And so when you're able to have this new energy and be able to let the feelings of overwhelmness or deep exhaustion go, and you let that go, you let the patterns of your past go as well. You let the things that used to, what I like to say, punk you out or take you out or create like speed bumps in your life as well. You let that be removed slowly but surely in your own timing. It's a self versus self, and it's a self growth. So it's not when everyone else is ready, it's when you're ready. And that right there
Grow and
is,
flow.
yeah, because you're in the flow. And key word that I love between both of us is the sovereignty, right? Like your own sovereignty. You're taking your own power back and being able to stand and put into who you are. And that creates renewalness, that creates balance. And so that oil also, it connects to your throat chakra, your crown chakra, and your heart chakra.
Which oil?
Basil.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Interesting, right?
brown. Okay.
But
Yeah.
that's why I felt that, because like how I was saying about basil
Ooh,
and
I
Tuesday
feel
basil
it.
and how it helps you integrate or go from the higher frequencies and down, which is connected to your crown chakra. You need to speak up from your heart. So everything needs to move up. And that creates another sense of worthiness in a way, because now your own identity, you're able to stand stronger, you're able to hear yourself, you're able to speak from your heart space as well. And it's not like lower densities. And so
Yes.
basil,
Okay. I want to, can I, is this a good spot that I can interject?
yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, because of you talking about the heart and then bringing energy down. So I thought this was interesting because I told you over the weekend I had asked for a card and I got that you're worthy because you are. Before we hopped on, I asked for cards. I did get one more that's related to the solar plexus chakra, which is where our worthiness is and
Mm-hmm.
our sovereignty. But I got two heart chakra cards. The first one was heart as the bridge where heaven and earth meet. And again, this is from my deck. And I'm bringing this up right now because the heart, it's the bridge. It's literally, you have 7 chakras in your physical body. Your heart is the middle. So you got 3 above and you've got 3 below. And when your lower chakras, your root, your sacral, your solar plexus, the solar plexus is what we're really focusing on today. When you've got imbalances and blocks in
Mhm.
those chakras, you
Mhm.
might be really wide open up here and really flying high. But if you're not in your body and clearing the
Mhm.
frequencies and the blockages out of your lower chakras, you're
Mhm.
not going to be bringing all that information down and embodying it. And it's
Mhm.
important because that's the process we're going through. This ascension process we're going through is not leaving the body. It's bringing more of you, all of your authenticity, your higher self, your oversoul into the body. So it's
Mhm.
really important to ground those lower chakras and be grounded in your body. So I thought that was really interesting that we got heart as a bridge. And I also want to mention the other heart card I got because I think it's related too. Circulating sacred joy. Joy becomes medicine in motion. And that is all about, the heart is all about circulating the sacred joy, the passion for which you gave birth. Why did you incarnate in this lifetime? What is that passion that you
Mhm.
feel so deep inside that maybe you're still stuck in a corporate job and you're not loving it, and but there's this thing over here that
Mhm.
like's always been on the back of your mind that you're wanting to get to. That's your joy for why you took birth. And when we follow our passions, we're honoring ourself. And that's also part of worthiness. So I really do feel like that's all tied together. And which is another good point to make right now is that when you've got an imbalance in one of your chakras, I keep bringing that up because this is all related. It's
Mhm.
all related. And when you've
Mhm.
got a blockage, an imbalance happening in your body, it's always more than one chakra involved. Always. So
Mhm.
I like that we're working along with the heart chakra, green, with the
Mhm.
solar plexus chakra, because it's so intertwined.
It is. It's like,
Loving yourself, feeling worthy.
mhm. And I love that you actually brought that up with joy because the next one that I was going to talk about is lemon.
Of course.
And
Oh, right on.
and lemon is connected to the solar chakra and the crown chakra as well. But also it's not just for focus, it really helps with many different emotions such as joy. So emotionally, lemon inspires a natural playfulness and buoyancy in the heart. It assists in releasing feelings of despair and hopelessness by restoring feelings of joy and happiness. Lemon inspired joyful involvement in the present moment by infusing the soul with energy, confidence, and alertness. And this oil
Awesome.
also feels more mental clarity as well. So when you say that, I was like, wow, that's the next card on mine where it can just bridge on into there because
I love
lemon
it.
is just that oil. So I drink lemon. I put my oil of lemon in my water. And that is definitely when you're going through, like maybe you're doing your passions in one area, like what Deb is saying, and you're going, and then but you have a whole other life around you that is also wanting to go with you or trying to get into your bubble or your vision or your own sacred journey in space. This is one that really helps that clarity because when you drink it, it's cleansing out certain things that doesn't serve you and it's letting you still stay solid in who you are. Like it's giving you that natural detox as well. And you can also take it in a capsule. That's also what I do. And it's just giving you that insight to saying, okay, you can focus in. And even if if people may not understand you, or they may not feel like what you're doing is in alignment to them, that's not yours, it's theirs, right? So to keep you in your safe space, once again, safe space, because worthiness comes with sovereignty and safety, so that you can feel the joy within you, so that you can move through and intertwine, like what Deb was saying, between the solar and the heart chakra, especially since they're like right there with each
Right
other.
there. And the
You
lemon's also purifying.
purifying. And it also helps. What I love is it brought up my other card here, which is the rosemary. And rosemary, it helps with the knowledge and the transition. And it helps an individual who struggles with learning difficulties or expansion of the mind, or individuals who are needing new information or new experience, and they want to transition into their greater self. But they're having a difficult
love
time.
it.
They're having a little bit of a hard time. And so when you're able to I love to smell rosemary, and I love it inside of my blends as well, because it really changes how, like, the gracefulness that you can come through and see things from a different point of view. And it's
Yes.
meant to be the oil of knowledge and transition. And so it's so different on how, from lemon, but yet they're compatible in a lot of ways, because they help you move through those areas together. And so
Yes.
I wanted to share that for
When
sure.
I smell and sniff on rosemary, I literally I can feel it like moving across neural pathways in my brain. I always feel, even if in the moment I don't know what's shifting, I can feel something's shifting. I can feel it when I smell that oil. Unlike any other oil that I've experienced, rosemary is really powerful that way for me.
Yeah, even me, I have it right now because it does something to me as well.
Yeah.
Like, just start smelling it and like swishing it around my space and my aura. It just lets me know, like, within myself, when we talk about worthiness, like it lets me know and congratulates myself on my own transition. It lets me just be present to myself and honor all of the work that I've done, because when you're using rosemary, it really does go to your true knowledge and your true intellect. And so if you have had patterns, right, where maybe other people has projected within you, you're not this, you're not that, you're not, I don't know, I don't want to say any of it, but like, just
Yeah.
things like you're not of something of greatness, right? A lot of that is programming. And that's what we were talking about, right? Is the programming that has happened that really blocks us from pushing past a certain area within ourselves, or it can also stop you out, like how
I'm
we
hearing
said.
threshold.
Yeah, threshold,
Past
there we go.
past a threshold that's keeping us down.
Down. And that doesn't let you connect, like what you said, right? How the heart is the bridge. It doesn't let you go, because if things are being said to you from such a young age, and we talk about chakras, if you experience something when you're 5 years old, to where somebody may have been just saying negative things to you, or wasn't uplifting you or speaking life into your journey, by the time you're 9 years old, especially as a little kid, you take all of that in, and then you'll just repeat what you've heard, and then it becomes a part of the identity. So then
Yes.
when we grow older, it becomes a part of our work of either needing to be conscious and clean it up,
Yeah.
or it becomes just a piece of our journey that stops us out, and we may not even know, and it may not even be conscious to us. And honestly, I went through my
Yes.
own journey, when before I had all my oils, that is like, oh, see, I knew I wasn't like that. I knew that somebody else told me that. And I just had to really stop, take a moment to really be self-conscious, and really do my self-mastering, to be able to understand I am enough. Like, who am I? Who who is PrimRose Lehualani according to me, not according to what's outside of me. And
Yes.
then as that journey went on, well, now all these oils are my besties in bottles because now they became like what is that called? Like partners in life to say, okay, when somebody's feeling that way,
Yes.
go grab the rosemary and remember who I am. And like how they say, smell the flowers, smell the oils, the
I
flowers,
love that.
the woods, all of that. Smell it all because rosemary creates mental clarity as well. And it brings in enlightenment
Definitely.
a lot.
Yeah, I wanted to like just piggyback off of what you just said, using yourself as an example, is that I was just saying right before we started recording that I'm noticing a lot more people either in my outer reality or just in life, or I'm doing giving sessions to that are having an awareness now that they're
Mm,
holding feelings of unworthiness when they didn't even realize that before at all. Like it
mm,
was absolutely no recognition where they're now saying, wow, I feel like I'm not good enough. I didn't realize I was carrying that. And I think it's such a powerful place to be
mhm.
right now, is having these recognitions, because that's, to, quote an old saying, it's more than half the battle, right? Just
Right.
having the awareness, and it's like, okay, then what do we do from there?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
100%
Powerful.
powerful. And it
Yeah.
that sovereignty again, right? And we want to go back to that. That gives us back our sovereignty of what once was a part of our safe, how we naturally came into this
Yes.
world pure, and then others put their programming into us that may or may not be of greatness as we're talking about,
Yes.
right? And it can stop us up. And I actually wanted to go into our emotion app and
Yeah.
the word worthiness to just see if any of these oils that based off of our cards, what is in alignment by nature and what our higher selves has been given to us. Oh, I like that they put pure in here as worthy. Pure. Oh, of course. And see, Rose is right up there already of what I was thinking.
So
And
what Primrose is looking at is in this app, it's amazing. You can either look at an emotion or you can look at an oil or the body like a body part.
yep. And
So if she's looking at the emotion of worthiness or unworthiness, however she's looking at that, it'll give some oils and then you can click on that and it'll take you back and forth in the app. It's an amazing app. And if you didn't get the name of it, so put a message below and we'll send you a link to it.
yeah. And so this app really takes you on a deep dive. So once you click on something, just be
I
prepared
know.
that you may have to spend at least 20 minutes on top of this specific topic that you're looking at, whether it's an
Yeah.
oil, whether it's an
It's a deep dive
emotion.
all in itself.
It's yeah, and it will help
Yeah.
you, but it's really cool because what I've learned even more since the fire, I learned this already before, but I think it became more relevant after the fires in the Haina is that a lot of people didn't feel safe to go and just talk to a counselor, right, or a therapist. That wasn't something that everyone was running to, even though it was something that is needed, even for myself personally. I was just grateful that I have all these tools, or I have people like Deb and others that we're all in this realm to lean on each other when we need the support and we need the help.
Well,
Not, go
I
ahead.
think a big piece of that, tell me if I'm wrong, but it feels to me like a big piece of that is the lies and corruption around it. Here's what
Absolutely.
is being put out to the masses about what's happening when we're living a completely different experience, and then you're angry. And then it's like,
Absolutely.
well, who do you trust and who can you go to? Is it safe to go to a therapist who's toeing the line of what the media is sending? Is that part of it? Do you feel that?
So she said two keywords,
Okay.
safe and trust. That was exactly what it is. Where that and when we're talking about worthiness, right? You need safety. You need to feel safe within yourself. You need to feel safe from the inside out. And if there's not enough safety for people to go in and to not be judged, to not feel like they're going to be prescribed how many different things in the world,
Because
or
you're
where they're just gonna
delusional.
get, yeah, or get pushed to the side, or just even become a number, right? And not
Yeah.
really be seen as a real person, as a human that had an experience on top of an experience on top of an experience. And it was really, for me, I got to see a lot. I got to actually help in a lot of these ways. So I'm grateful that I did have my tools and I do walk this talk, because that is exactly how I've helped people, where it's like, hey, what do we need out of this crew? And I'll just bring all of my tools. What do we need? What do you just need a moment? Do you just need, what are you feeling right now? Okay, here, you can smell this. And letting them process on their own. I think that's the best thing about what we're doing here, because we were, like how Deb said off camera before, we used to do this just for us, where we would get together and we would deep dive all over the place, whether it was at the beach, at her house. It didn't
Sometimes
matter
somebody
to us.
else would come and then we're doing it
Yeah,
with them and helping them. Yeah.
yeah. And it was just like, oh, wow, we're doing it, and we wanted to share this more and more, because how many people just suffer in silence, which kills the vibration of getting to worthiness. And this right here, being able to speak about it, talk about it, this is when I see worthiness, and
Solutions.
it's that part. And separation is a hallucination in many, 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 many ways. And I have a kumu that also says that as well. That I'm
Absolutely
like,
100%. I think
like,
it's a huge wound that most of us are born with because we come through this veil of amnesia and we don't remember that we're not separated from God. We're not separated from source. So we have like this big abandonment wound.
yeah. And then we
Yes,
also
yes,
live in this
yes.
world where there's so much stimulation and so much instant gratification as well, right? Where it's like distraction, false distractions. I want to say a lot of them are just keeping you on an
Yeah.
autopilot, right?
Yep.
Until
On
a
a
crash,
treadmill.
yeah, until a crash happens, or just how some people like to say they don't know who they are, or like they don't know what to do after a certain thing in their life or a certain period happens. And this is where word when you think about worthiness, we also have to think about worthless, right? The what is that, in balance or duality of it, where it's like, where there's one side, there's obviously another side as well. And so worthless, as it says in here, comes and also can be connected to insecure and hopeless. And when you dive into this, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I have an anti-aging blend card that I pulled here, which it could be in doTERRA's one, it could be connected to HD Clear or Immortelle. And Immortelle blend has all the heavy hitter blends, I want to say, in there, or all the heavy hitter oils such as rose, helichrysum, what else is
That's
in
powerful.
that I'm thinking of? What was the other one? Step, wait, I have my oil right here next to me. It's staring at me and calling me.
I don't know.
Um,
I've used that before and I loved it. And I don't can't remember what else is in it.
So there's rose, there's helichrysum,
Powerful.
there is, and this blend is just pure oils. There's no coconut in it. So there's
Yarrow.
rose, helichrysum, myrrh, lavender, sandalwood, and frankincense. And this
Oh, yeah.
blend helps going from confusion, deep emotional blend, discouragement, and moves you into a soul connection. So you talk about what you were just saying, right? When people come earthbound and the connection of that, and also spiritual stability. And then it also helps you through your transcendence. And so in that, it connects up to releasing any darkness that has kept you from fulfilling your purpose and increasing your light within. And Deb said it clearly earlier, about how we are light. We have to choose the light. The more that you're in your light, the more your heart space is activated and it opens.
Emanate it.
Yes, it's emanated. And so this anti-aging blend, and this is probably one of my favorite blends because there is no coconut oil in it, and so you don't need that much. It's like you can take a little bit, and it can be used in many ways. But when I think about our worthiness, I think about why is it so easy for me to stand in my light? It's because I'm able to understand my connection to the spirituality realm as well as being grounded here on earth and being able to focus in on the chakras below my heart and the chakras above it and bridge it, like what Deb was mentioning. And it moves me more into raising my vibration and frequencies.
Beautiful.
And that goes for
Embodiment.
what talking
Embodiment.
about. Yep, embodiment. And you become not you're no longer just a self-identity. Like you are the elements. You are connected to source. It changes your whole mindset and it really lets you go into a deeper consciousness, I want to say, and lets you feel the rhythm of that. How you feel about that one, Deb?
I love that. I love that. That tied everything together because that is the bottom line of our authenticity. We are made of the earth, all of the elements of the earth, and you just tied that all together.
Boom.
I had one more thing, and I think maybe this is a good time to share this, but just a sentence that I had written down from my guidance as I was asking about these, the citronella and the oregano.
Mm-hmm.
Worthiness is not something you achieve. It is what remains when distortion, intrusion, all those oils we were talking about were including lemon, really, that helped dispel. It's what remains when distortion, intrusion, and self-abandonment are cleared from the field, which is all of the stuff that we talked about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What remains is worthiness because you are worthy because you are.
Yeah. Yes. And I love that you said that because just knowing you and knowing how much you have assisted me and the reciprocity it has been a reciprocal thing
Of
for her,
course.
but it
Yes.
has helped me, and that leads me into this next card because it has helped me to understand generational trauma and patterns to a whole different level, and why you must be able to clear that out, right? Cross cancel out, delete.
Yes.
Um,
And
uh,
we came in to do that
yes.
because we're badasses. We
Yes,
just forgot we're badasses.
that part, what you just said, to remember. That has been definitely the journey, and I feel like that has brought in a lot of my wordiness is to remember who the heck am I and
Yeah.
who I who was I? What was, why was I so blessed and fortunate to make it earthbound, one, and then be able to have the journey that I've had on this current earth plane and in this right in this life, right, as we
Because
talk
you
about it. that,
created it.
that part and taking the
Oh,
ownership.
that was the last card I forgot to bring up. So sorry. Remembering the author, you are the creator within.
And there you have it.
That's all about not falling into victimhood. Like,
Mhm.
oh, poor, pitiful me. This happened to me. And we've all been there. I'm not trying to make fun of
Mhm.
anybody because we have all been there. But when you
Yes.
start to recognize that you are the one that is creating your reality, moment by moment by moment by a moment, what you wrote into your script before you incarnated, what we're doing from moment to moment to moment, you are the author.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm glad you said that. Thank you. Because I'd
That.
forgotten about that card.
And see, this is why we wanted to do this deep diving is because the way like we just bounce, like none of this is both of us talking about it like, hey, these cards came through and stuff. It's more so we let it all just like we become a vessel in our own for ourselves and then also for what we're putting out here together. And we know it's gonna help tremendously for others because it has helped us tremendously
Yes.
as our own individual self, as a
Yes.
collective, in the work that we do, how we show up in our families, also in the community. I feel
Yes.
like it's just helped us more. And it would it's our privilege and honor to be able to share this out with others so that
Definitely.
the ripple effect happens. Because when I think about worthiness, it's not just about us, it's a couple thing, right? And we're here to also give it
Yes.
forth and do the work and open the doors for others to be able to
Yeah.
be their badass self and be worthy of
Yes.
who they are and stand in all of their greatness and be or firm in who they are. And that leads me into this last card, Douglas Fir. Um,
Oh, yay.
I love Douglas Fir. Douglas Fir is one of my favorite oils. I actually have, I feel like they're all my favorites at this
I
point of my
love Douglas fir. Well, I like all the trees, but yeah.
Yes, but Douglas fir, and this goes into what we were talking about, generational as well, because it really helps with releasing old generational patterns, undervalued or burdened, and it helps instill generational healing, wisdom, and inner growth. This oil can help you create the ability to be taught great wisdom through the experiences of life and lessons of the past. That's a key thing for me and how it says it because it doesn't hold the past in such a negative way. It changes the vibrational tune to look at the past as like what Deb was saying. We created this. What did we create and why did we create it? How did we create it? And what is it doing to
What are we
us?
learning from it?
You
Where
know,
do we go
yeah,
from
like
here?
where do we go? How do we move all the things up? Are we going to be stuck in the same stories that we're telling ourselves? Or like what Deb was saying, sometimes we can be a victimhood. It really can be on how we even describe our experience or look at our experience, right? So it's the different perspectives that I
Yep.
feel like this oil is coming in to say, okay, I have the courage to be a change maker and chain breaker. I create change within my family. And why is it so easy for my family to heal? And talking off camera now, I guess I'll bring some of that on camera, like how we said, some may come on the camera, but just talking about it before we jumped on here, I did speak about my own personal family and just the amount of generational healing that we had to do. And really, when I talk about the reciprocity here, the reciprocal things that happen between Deb and I, she has seen in action how I needed her to help me with certain things in my own ohana. But in order for me to get there, I had to have been ready. I had to have accepted that I have to be a chain breaker. I have to have the courage to be a change maker as well, and to help each and every one of my ohana that is ready to receive the help and want to move forward to their own inner rhythm of safety and their own new life or changes of what they want versus what they were stuck in. I had to
You are
be
setting an example by just living your life the way you are now.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to do that. I had to make sure to take ownership of myself. I had to face my own patterns and make sure that I understand what is mine, what's not mine, what am I stuck in, what is the emotions that are coming up? Was it there my whole life or was it when did it appear? And the reason why I say that is because that's generational wisdom as well, which moves one into worthiness. Because when you're able to really stop and check yourself first before checking everybody else, you're able to really save yourself a lot of heartbreak and a lot of trauma because the last thing you want to do is just go and tell everybody else how to change out there in the world when you may not be doing it yourself. Or even if you are doing it, it's okay to triple check as well, just in case, right? It's just in case it may still be you, you may think, but also that creates safety, that creates trust to where if you're able to check yourself, look at yourself in the mirror, take a few times for yourself, go have a walk in nature, go to the forest, have a deep meditation. Deb is very good with being able to do that out in the Makawao forest, and be able
Love
to
it.
ground herself, right? And be able to really center herself out there. I am lucky and blessed to be
You.
back here on this beautiful island of Molokai, where this island by nature helps ground me, helps
We're
remove a
very
lot
blessed.
of things, that is not for my higher self, and maybe distractions on distractions or just other outside things to where it lets me be centered. And so Douglas fir is a generational wisdom oil, and I wanted to read this part as well. Additionally, Douglas fir teaches individuals to learn from and value others' experiences, especially one's family and ancestors. It encourages respect for one's elders and ancestral heritage. Douglas fir reminds individuals that valuable wisdom can be obtained by learning from the past, especially from individuals who are older, wiser, and more experienced. And that is I had to be a student of life in this area and walk my talk and lean on others who already, like Deb and many others, who already live in their own zone or have been doing their own kuleana and own healing, and really making sure to let go of things that don't serve them, instill things that is for the greater good of humanity, making sure to speak life into themselves, into their family, into their space, into their aura, and the ripple effects. And that by nature, when you're able to be a student of all of that, you can learn certain things that you may not have known before. And maybe it helps the ripple effect to say, oh, now, I didn't know what I didn't know, or I may not have looked at that specific experience in the past from this different lens or from this heart space. Maybe it was from a whole different emotion.
Yeah.
And maybe the separation that was needed was removing yourself out of the picture so that you can see things differently and have a change of heart in many different ways and hold space differently. And so Douglas fir is definitely that oil. And I love that this one actually speaks about being in the root chakra, because when I look at the other ones, none of them spoke about the roots. But why I say that is because your worthiness also starts from how Deb said, from the time you come from that you threshold down to the earthbound, and then you become earthbound. And who cultivates your root chakra with you, right? Who speaks life?
The trees are very grounding.
And we caught in the trees. We caught in the element.
Yeah. But the Douglas fir is a tree, and
Is
they're
a
all like,
tree.
all of them are really grounding oils.
And it
Yeah.
takes you all the way up to your third eye as well. So when I think about the connection that it has from that amount of chakras, right? And how Deb was saying earlier, the heart is the bridge. So there's three above it and there's three below. And so when you can merge all of that, or lean into all of it and grow, the amount of wisdom, and when we think about trees, the amount of wisdom, they are our, I always honor them as our kupuna, because they have been here. And especially, so like right outside, I have a big kukui nut tree right outside. This kukui nut tree has been here way before I was born, in some sort of sense, and you can tell by the way that they connect to the other trees through the wind, the way that they all connect. And so Douglas fir, like she said, it is a tree, and it also connects. If we think about the last one, we talked about petitgrain in the last in our last video, in our last session, and that is the companion oil with Douglas fir. So when you think about that, and Siberian fir,
That makes so much sense. I
so
mean,
much
if you think
sense.
about the ancestry involved and how petitgrain really assists with clearing ancestral wounds, and wow,
So
nice.
it just blends and it makes so
Yeah,
much sense. So that's the cards that wanted to
nice.
come out to play. That was cool. That was
That was
super
really
cool for
cool. And
all
I
of
wanted to
that.
share that I was just started thinking about it when you were talking. Um, I get a lot. I want to go back again, just in case somebody hasn't watched all the episodes and hasn't heard me say this 3 times already, is that I wanted to dive deeper with Primrose because she's freaking incredible with oils. And I wanted to do a deep dive with her. And I thought, well, let's record it. And again, this was 3 years ago we started this, so my knowledge of the oils has definitely increased over the time because it's been a couple years and I use them daily. But I wanted to record this. So I wanted to share, I have a notebook where I do all the notes of our videos together. Yeah, I haven't done the last one yet. Actually, the one before that. I'm a little behind, but I'm gonna go back to it. But I have a specific notebook just for my deep dive with Primrose, and I go back and listen to the videos because there's so many things that she says about oil. So I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. I'm gonna because so much of this you are not gonna Google and find
Yeah,
information.
it really takes like that time of work, and I think it's because I'm very much into the La'au Lapa'au realm. And this is La'au Lapa'au. This is plants. So La'au Lapa'au is plant medicine. And being able, that was one of my journeys, to be able to understand the plants in many different forms. And this is one that I have found that is just fascinating to me, because they take, if you never heard me say this before in the other videos, they take every single one of the plants, the trees, they go to the origins of where they're finding it, doTERRA, and they cultivate it around the people that live in those areas and that know each of these different specific plants or trees. And I always say this, and I pay this so much homage. Just like our Hawaiian sandalwood, it's not just, oh, it's labeled Hawaiian sandalwood. No, it's really from Hawaii. It's actually from Mokuokeawe, which is the Hawaii island, big island on the Kona side. And they do a lot of work over there with not just Hawaiian sandalwood, but other native trees as well, like iliahi, is Hawaiian sandalwood in Hawaiian. But then they work with a'ali'i. They also have so much ohia lehua up there, and they're making sure to continue on the La'aulapa'au realm, but also keeping nature and the indigenous plants there. And it's people that are from here, living it, breathing it, talking it, and the way of how doTERRA goes and partners up with these people to make sure that, one, they're taken care of, but also making sure to respect the trees and the plants in their own natural
So
soil.
huge.
It's huge. It keeps the
Yeah.
potency to a whole different level. And when I think about it from a Ike Hawaii
Yes.
perspective, it is very much keeping the wisdom and letting us be able to have a piece of this type of wisdom, this type of connection, that even if they're in the bottle now and they became an oil, they still have an essence that comes with them. They still have, like how we're talking about generational things, they still have all of that in the bottle. And then
Spirit
now
of the oil.
the spirit of the oil, and it really becomes a piece of helping you remember who you are. And so, like how I shared, Deb walks in Makawao Forest. Yeah, she walks, and if there's one person that I
Every
can
day.
always recommend to go to the Makawao Forest with, it would be her. Like,
Call
I can
me.
say she can do it with her senses, like different senses. I know for a fact like how she can walk in that forest. She'll be able to hear a certain thing, and she'll know, oh, it's over here. Oh, listen, oh, that's where that bird is at. Or she'll know how many steps even to the next turn that you have to do. And that's huge. And guess what that does as well? And why I'm talking about the oils in the way, because then by nature, the trees and the elements up there builds a pilina with her, builds a relationship with her. And that co-creation helps in so many ways, because as we know, we need trees, we need nature just to live, just to survive. But if you're not around that so much, and you may be living more in a fast-paced life or just so much stimulation, that's when life gets a little bit hard at times, because you don't have that moment to stop, pause, integrate, breathe, the deep breathing. And the
Away
oil,
from getting away from the EMFs,
that part,
out in nature.
out in nature. And that's something, like, I know, like how I said, her and I, where we live, we're pretty blessed to live where we both are living,
Very, very, very,
and the
very, very.
lifestyle that we have. But not everyone has access to that, right? And so I understood that just from my own upbringing to where my own origin of my own living had was and is to how it is now. It has completely changed from when I was a little girl. It has been overtaken by a lot more cars. It has been overtaken by a lot more businesses. It has been overtaken by a lot more people. It has been overtaken by a lot more roads instead of having a lot more nature. And so the oils, when you're able to just sit and smell, you're able to open and unlock a lot of things, especially when you're like, oh my gosh, if you're a meditation person, it takes you to a whole different level as well. If you're looking to just wanting to go within and maybe you have to release a few things and you don't want people to know about it, grab the oils and you can just start smelling the oils. I would always recommend, like what Deb says, she has books. I have books on books. I think we have notebooks on notebooks on notebooks.
Got notebooks about my notebooks.
Oh my notebooks, that's me too. So it's like there's so much deep diving that happens,
I
and
know.
time is different for everyone, right? So it's not, it's like everybody, we could be on here for 1 hour and this feels for us because we're deep diving. It may not even be an hour to us because we're in
Minutes.
such a higher frequency and vibration and just living the life that we love and being able to tune in. And even though we're doing this not just for us, but for y'all, it really does help us even more in our kuleana and what we do in our life to be like, oh yeah, okay, like
Definitely.
we gotta write that down, or we have to remember that piece, or this is gonna help us for this person. And I was just explaining that to Deb too earlier, that our last video helped me with helping others to create certain blends and move them through fear, right? Move them through those lower vibrations so that they can step into their power and take their power back and stand in who they are and know that they are supported. And making blends with the oils, it changes the dynamics of how the oils even speak to us in general, I want to say. What do you
Yeah.
think of that one?
Yeah. It's just a reminder, everything's energy.
Mm-hmm.
So you're bringing in the energy, the essence, the energy of all of these different energies and putting them together. You're going to
Mm-hmm.
come, that's alchemy. You're coming
Alchemy.
up with something that's totally different.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad that was a beautiful segue because I was going to say, bring up your spray. I wanted you to talk about the spray you made
Oh
because
yes.
yeah, so if you're interested in anything that PrimRose makes, just leave a comment and we'll get back to you and you can figure out how to order it. Anything that I make is on my website. It is allalchemy.com. But we both
Mhm.
make a lot of different products
Yeah.
for clearing, raising vibration, all kinds of different things. So share about your spray, please.
Yes. So this specific spray, I labeled this one "This Is Me," and
I love it.
it was just very much like
Love
this
it.
one actually has no crystals in it, and that's a huge thing because we do make sprays and blends and stuff that and candles as well that have crystals in them, which obviously changes the frequency, changes the energy, opens up certain things. But this was one that was quite interesting for me, and really helped me to embrace the depth of me, but also not just embrace it and embody it, but move accordingly in such a in a kilo perspective. And so in a Hawaiian perspective, kilo is a deep observance. It lets you also, for myself, it goes into clairvoyance a lot. So it helps me to be able to look at things from the honua, from the earth, all the way up to the lani, the sky. And it takes me on this journey of understanding my own self-identity, which I feel like in this um in this episode talking about worthiness, that is what it's all about, is being able to understand self. And so I do want to just hit a few things that is in my this specific blend that we did talk about briefly today or have deep dived in. There
Will you
is
spray
lavender.
it?
Yes.
Will you
So
spray it so we can kind of just breathe it in? Yeah. So just take a deep breath and like breathe the frequency of that in. because it's
I
in this
love this
vortex space.
spray.
Oh, wow.
It's a whole, it just really gives me that, oh girl, you can go all the way up. You can be
Yeah, you
human.
have something that's a
Oh,
pretty high frequency in there.
yes. Oh, there's
Yeah.
a lot.
Oh,
So I'm also Sagittarius. Okay, so just to put it out there, from the astrology perspective,
watch
I
out.
yeah, I'm a Saggy. Okay, so we can go all the way up. We can be human. We can play in the frequencies in this area. But talking about the oils that we talked about today, or that was brought up, just like how we talked about in the Immortel, there was lavender. So there is lavender in here. There is Douglas fir in here. There is Siberian fir. There is Tulsi basil. And
Mm,
then there are a few others that we didn't. Oh, and myrrh, because myrrh is in the Immortel as one. There's myrrh in here.
lovely.
And then instead of lemon, it was quite interesting actually. Lime wanted to come in for this.
Oh,
And lime is really the zest of life. It does detox you, but it brings you a little, it's not just
little
joy.
sizzle, little
Yeah, it's like a
sizzle.
little sizzle, like you know who you are, it's like a just walk in the room accordingly type of thing. And so it brings that in. And then as we talked about patchouli last one, it I have patchouli in here,
Love
and
patchouli.
then guaca, love guaca wood. It's almost like Palo Santo, in a sense. Patchouli is one of my top 5 oils that I use because of my strengths. It connects to lavender, or it connects to being a learner, so student of life. Now, the interesting one here, because there's a few other oils, but the interesting one here that is kind of new in the doTERRA realm, I want to say, one of their newer blends is the Coastal Escape. And that one is the one that I actually wanted to dive a little bit more into,
Okay.
because Coastal Escape, out of all of this one, this specific oil talks about authenticity. So when you're talking about worthiness, you have to be yourself. You have to own who you are. You have to walk and in your embodiment, like what Deb was saying. And so the Coastal Escape asks individuals to pause and observe their life, like sitting on the ocean shore, watching the waves come and go. It invites them to evaluate what is worth keeping and what needs to be washed away to reclaim integrity and restore good judgment, encouraging simple acceptance of where they truly are. This moment of stillness and presence guides them to decide how best to move forward. The blend invites a return to authenticity, reconnecting with the healing power of nature and the healing within themselves. And I felt like out of all of the blends, or all of the oils, when I read through, I was like, oh, I have to say that
Yes.
one, because that kind
Yes.
of wraps up what we were talking about today,
It
right?
wraps it up so beautifully. And it has to do with the heart chakra and the solar plexus chakra, because the heart chakra not only governs the circulatory system, but it governs our lymphatic system and our immune system. And our immune system is what we allow in and what
Mm-hmm.
we keep out,
Mm-hmm.
which is what you just said. So
Yep.
wow. Yeah.
So I felt like out of all oils, that's the one that I had to speak about, because when you talk about high vibration, there's clearly a few of them, but this one specifically, I was like, oh,
Well, the Tulsi basil.
yeah, the Tulsi basil, the myrrh in
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
There's also Roman chamomile and copaiba.
Oh,
So
oh.
So it really just
Love
brings it
Roman
all
candle.
together, from being that little person to who I am now. And like I said in here, the reciprocity and the reciprocal things that Deb and I have grown through together since entering in each other's lives
So
has
grateful.
really, really helped me embody the depth of me. And I was even sharing with her prior that my grandparents, one would call me Primrose and one would call me Lehualani, and they're married. And so it really just lets me embody the depth of myself. And that's why I said this is me, because with or without any extra things, this is who I am. And this is how I love to just grow and why I know my worth in life. I know the depth of who I am. I work through my layers, understanding my strengths, understanding my weaknesses that are still strengths, but need to cultivate the stories of how do they become strengths, right? And so this one, Coastal Escape, it was a mic drop for me. And that's a wrap on my end on what I got from my blends
I love it.
here.
Awesome. Okay, well then I don't even need to ask anything else.
No, I'm
Awesome.
good on
That's
my
it for
end. I
me.
think that was great. I think that was a lot of greatness that we
That was a
shared.
lot.
But yeah. And then also
Awesome.
I charge like Deb, we charge a lot of our things in the elements, right? Like we use a lot of we co-create with the elements for sure. So this blend was definitely charged in the moon as well
Beautiful.
in certain phases.
Which is what that image is behind her, just in case.
Yeah, just in case you don't know,
And
this is the moon with the rain bow around.
moonbow.
Yeah, moon bow.
Well, I don't know if that's the real name, but that's what Mike and I call it.
And that's what I'm calling it too,
Moonbow.
because
Okay.
it's a moon with a rainbow. So it's a
Yeah,
moon bow.
right.
Yay! But that's
Awesome.
what we
Well,
have
thank
for
you.
worthiness. Yeah.
Huh?
That's what we have for worthiness, I think,
That's
right?
it. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us again. And I'll figure out by the time I put this up is this is number 5 or number 6, because now I'm a little confused. But you might want to consider getting a little notebook and taking notes because you're going to be really blown away at how much more you learned from our little banter here.
Mhm, mhm.
All right. Wishing everybody a beautiful rest of your day. Sending you away with so much love and so much aloha.
Up we go.
A hui ho and aloha.